Hey everyone, and welcome to the fourth part of this series about creating our Jitter object in JavaScript. I'm pretty pleased to see that there are consistently like 100 viewers for these videos, which I will not even expect since it's a pretty specific topic. But I'm very pleased, I have to say it, so thank you very much for following, it really means a lot to me. So, cool. First of all, I have to correct something from last time. Basically, I forgot to remove the Ortho2 attribute of the main camera in the main context. That's why it was working. So the JIT sketch object was giving us results between -1 and 1, even though we didn't create the dummy camera. So we need this dummy camera that renders to the dummy node with Ortho2. Otherwise, the mouse coordinates will be wrong. Alright, so in this video we are going to see how to finally select the videos. So let's go for it. So what we got now is this function, we called it mouse screen chords, that basically just transforms the mouse coordinates from screen into world coordinates. Cool. So now what we want to do is to check for every video in our video wall if the mouse is inside that video. So we can do like this. Let's instead of posting it to the console, let's create a new variable and call it mouse world or something like that. And this is equal to that, to our transform the coordinates. And then let's say for var video in G video players. Let's actually call it for var video player. Makes more sense. For all the video players in our array of video players, let's say G video player. So we select the current video player in the array. We have to say something like check if mouse is inside or something like that. And we have also to pass probably the mouse coordinates to that because we want to check according to the mouse coordinates. So cool, this function doesn't exist yet, so let's go inside our video player class and create it. So let's do like this. This is going to be a new function. This check if, how did we say? Check if mouse is inside. I will just copy it actually and paste it here. This is a new function that has as an argument the mouse world. And cool, so how we can check if the mouse is inside the video plane? Well, it's going to be very easy. Basically, the video plane is a rectangle, right? So we just have to check if the X of the mouse position is greater than the left edge, and it's smaller than the right edge. And then we have to check if the Y is smaller than the upper edge, and if it's greater than the lower edge. This will tell us if the mouse is inside the video plane. Since it's a rectangle, it's very easy. Cool, so let's do like this. Basically, before we do that, let's create a variable here in our class, which is going to be the scale of the class. So let's assign this to 0.2 as we did before. But instead of then writing this manually here, let's say this is equal to this scale, which is just a single value because we are scaling the x and the y for the same value. For the moment, we don't care about having different x and y scale values. Cool. Then let's also create another variable, which we'll call this position. This is going to be the position of our video plane. So let's actually cut this let's cut this array that we use to assign a random position, and let's just write this video plane position is equal to this position dot slice. So why slice? Because if we will just assign this array with an equal sign, this will be a copy by reference, which means this will not be a copy of this array, but will be a pointer to that array. So a bit like when you have two matrices that have the same name. We actually don't want that in this case. We want to simply copy that array. That's why I use the slice property of the array without any arguments, which means just copy that array without transferring the pointer. That's basically the sense of it. And that's mostly what we have to care about in JavaScript. Most of the times we really don't want to send a pointer to the array, we just want to copy it. So this slice thing is pretty important. Cool, so let's do like this. If mouse world 0, which is basically the x component of our mouse position, is greater than what? Well, this position 0 minus this dot scale, because basically this will be the position, right, at the center of our video plane. The position minus scale will give us the left edge, and position plus scale will give us the right edge, and so will be the same for the epsilon as well. So if we say if this is greater than this position minus this scale, then we are saying that the x of the mouse is greater than the left edge. And because we have to check also that all the cases are satisfied. So, and mouse world 0 is actually smaller than this position 0 plus this scale. Exactly. And let's go to a new line. We can just go to a new line. Nothing bad happens. And let's check with the epsilon. So if mouse world 1, it's actually greater than this position 1 minus this scale. So this is basically our bottom edge, this here. So this means if this epsilon of the mouse is actually greater than the bottom edge, so this position minus this scale, cool, then this is going to be true. And then we also need to say, and the mouse world 1 must be also smaller than this position 1 plus this dot scale. Right, so this should be it. And if this is true, let's kind of highlight our videos. So let's say that if this is true, we want that the video is highlighted. Alright, so we're going to highlight it like this. We're going to create, after this video plane, we're going to create this highlight quad or something like this. It's going to be a new jitter object, JitGL grid shape, which draws as well to the context, of course. And this dot highlight quad dot grid mode equal to 0, which means it's just going to be a quad. It's going to be just a quad without the tree grid. It's just going to draw it as quads. And then we are going to say this highlight quad dot color. Let's make it like yellow. Something like that. Oh, and of course we want to have it like poly mode 1. So this highlight quad dot poly mode equal 1 1. So we want to have it just as a kind of lines, not really as a full quad. And then this highlight quad dot line width, let's make it a bit bigger than normal. So let's, for example, 5. There's a lot of attributes for this object. Of course, we want to set this shape. Highlight quad dot shape is going to be a plane. And actually, grid mod is without the underscore. It's just written like that. The position then we have to set. So the position is the same as the position of our video plane. This highlight quad dot position is equal to this position dot slice as we did before. Cool. The dimension of this object, so the matrix, how many vertices is going to have, is just going to be a 2 by 2. Right, because we just want to have a quad. Cool, I will say let's just try it. So if this is true, and let's disable it by default, because it's going only to be enabled when we are inside the video plane. So enable equal to 0. So in case we are inside it, then let's enable it, else let's disable it. Good. So let's actually check if this kind of works. I'm going to save here. I'm going to go here. And okay, I forgot the scale. I forgot to set the scale, of course. There was another attribute that I forgot. So this dot highlight quad dot scale is equal to this scale. Right, let's check if now it works. Oh, let's actually first we need to save the main file, of course. Then let's go here. Let's reload the videos. And cool. As you can see, it's working. It's highlighting the videos on which our mouse is in. Apart that, it's not really working because the position of the mouse is actually wrong. Because it should go between -1 and 1 inside the node context, this red square, but actually it's going between -1 and 1 on the main context. So our dummy context has the same size of the main context, so it's going to -1 for the epsilon, for example, when it arrives at the end of our window, and to 1 when it arrives at the top. This means that we have to transform it from the main context coordinates to our scaled context coordinates. So it's pretty easy. We're just going to do like this. Let's actually create an attribute for the scale of our red node context. So like this, var scale equal 0.7 we said, and let's declare it as an attribute, so scale. And we don't want to set it in any particular way, we don't want to get it. Good. And let's say that the master plan scale is equal to scale, which is also not an array for the moment, we're just using a single number. In the future we could set this as an array. Great. So what we need to do here, when we check for the mouse, if the mouse is inside the video planes in the single video players, we simply have to say mouse world 0 divided equal by our scale attribute, because this is going to basically to refit the mouse position to the scale of our node context. So mouse world 1 divided equal to scale. Whoops. Right. Let's check if it now works. So I'm going to load the videos. And nice! As you can see, it is actually working. Amazing. Now some videos overlap, so it's going to highlight them at the same time, but mostly we can see that it's working. And this is pretty cool. So now in the next videos we're going to see how we can just click and get the name out of the JS object. It's actually super easy, so if you want to give it a try yet, this will be very cool. And great. This was it for this video. Now, I would really like to know if you have some feedback about that. Since I have like 100 viewer per video, it will be great to get some kind of feedback from you guys. And yeah, I would really appreciate it. Like if it's going too fast or too slow, or it's completely a mess. These kind of things. So anyway, thank you very much for following. You can download the patch of from my Patreon by simply joining the supporter tier. So happy patching and see you soon. Ciao.